What's up, guys? It's Mike Sherrard, and I'm coming back with another exclusive interview with a really powerful new agent. This is Gabrielle Crowe from DC. She's closed over 50 deals in her first 2 years, but she's dominated with referrals, but now has recently transitioned into video marketing. She's using my company high converting content for her videos, and she's only posted 3 videos, and she's generated a referral with the minimum price of $800,000 per referral from each of those videos. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna share with you how she built up extraordinary momentum as a brand new agent, how she generated a ton of referrals, and now what she's done in order to transition her business into a more modern strategy with video marketing in order to crush it in a hyper competitive market. What's up, guys? We're coming back with another exciting episode today with a young hustler that's absolutely crushing it in DC, Gabrielle Crowe. And we're going to talk today about some of the incredible results she's had as a brand new agent. Over the last 2 years, she's closed over 50 deals in a hyper competitive market. And she started to take her business online using video marketing and is absolutely dominating it in the luxury space. So I'm excited to have Gabrielle on here. She's part of our social strategy mastermind and really paving the path for what a modern agent looks like and what people should be doing when they want to leverage modern technology in order to scale their business. So, Gabrielle, welcome on.
Thanks, Mike. I'm super stoked to be here and can't wait to share my journey.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting because I've been really impressed with your results, even in the short amount of time that we've known each other. And it's cool to see that a lot of people are talking about the importance of leveraging certain strategies, especially leveraging video, but not a lot of people are doing it. You just happen to take the reins, bite the bullets, get outside of your comfort zone and start doing it. And it's yielded some pretty incredible results. So before we dive into some of the unique things that has allowed you to scale to the point of doing 50 deals in your first year, I'd love for you to just give a brief background of how you got into the industry, because I think that forced transition is pretty interesting and a lot of people are likely going to be able to relate it to that, especially during what we're going through right now. And I think then we can give people some context as to who you are, and then we'll get into how you built up such incredible momentum as a brand new agent.
Awesome. Yeah. So I come from a background in tech. I moved to DC to go to college. I got a job right out of college at a large consulting firm and was there for about 5 years until I was blindsided and wrongfully terminated from that job, which totally threw me for a loop. In hindsight, best thing that's ever happened to me. It forced me to really think about my own personal values and how I can create a life with personal integrity and what that looked like from a career aspect. So yeah, it catapulted my transition into real estate. I was sort of at a point where I realized for me to control my own destiny, I needed to be an entrepreneur. And the aspects of consulting that I enjoyed most were working with my clients one-on-one and really understanding and getting to know them. I love the relationship aspect of it. And lifestyle has always been important to me. My home is like my sanctuary, I always say. And like ever since I was a kid, I've loved going into people's homes because it's so personal and you can learn so much about them. So yeah, I was sort of at this crossroads of like, do I want to go to business school still and figure out I studied biomedical engineering and I really wanted to be this like badass female biotech entrepreneur. Or I had an itch to try real estate. And to be honest, it's only a few $1,000s to get your license and get started. And I thought, if I don't like it, I can always fall back on consulting. And I haven't looked back. I love it more than I even thought I would. And it's so fulfilling to be able to be a part of that journey of change with people. And I am obsessed with self-growth and self-improvement. And so it's really helped me find clarity and a mission, which is helping people get from the lives they have to the lives they want. I work on doing that for myself. And it's such a gift to be able to help others do that as well.
Definitely. I think it's pretty unique how both of us came from the engineering background, made a complete 180, and now we're chasing down a dream that's bigger than we ever thought was possible. And I think it's cool to see that you just followed a passion that was already there. And like you say, you never know if it's going to turn into something big. But as you're going to explain to us, when you start doing things the right way, it can really build quite an incredible lifestyle for you. So I'd love to know, how you built up such incredible momentum as a brand new agent. I know the biggest struggle for a lot of people is that they are so passionate about real estate. They read Rich Dad Poor Dad or something of the like, and they come into the industry with all this fire, momentum, and drive. And then as soon as they get their license, they almost fall flat, start tripping over their feet, and really realize that it's much more difficult than they expected, or they don't end up closing many deals. I know a lot of agents that don't close a single deal for the first 6 months. So what did you do in order to build that momentum and carry that ambition through in order to become a really successful early new agent?
Yeah, great question. It is tough, right? Like you going from a salary job into commission based and figuring out how to really, to be honest, like first getting the mindset right. Like you're going to get rejected. And one of the things that I've learned is to, those clients that don't call you back or, you just never see again, really asking yourself, like, did it feel right taking them on as clients from the moment I talked to them? Did our values align? And when the answer is no, it's usually a good sign, right? Like that gives you time to go out and hustle and find clients who you're going to connect with. As far as getting started and building momentum, it took me about 4 months to really close my first sale, which, to be honest, I took that as a win. Like everyone getting into the business or everyone giving you advice as you're getting into the business tells you that you might go a year without seeing any money coming in. And what helped me was, at first I asked myself the question, like, would I buy a house with me? And the answer was just straight up no.
Yeah.
I'd never done this before. And so I had to think through ways that I could provide value. And first, that was becoming knowledgeable from my own side of things. And so I just started to go deep on reading, learning, meeting other agents that I looked up to, going through to open houses and just seeing you can't sell what you don't know. So really going deep on DC real estate and learning about the different neighborhoods and then sharing that knowledge through social media. I did not expect it to be as like successful of a strategy as I wouldn't even say I that was my main strategy, right? Like I just wanted to genuinely share knowledge that I was learning, and people started to reach out to me. Like if I posted consistently, they'd say like, hey, you know what you're talking about. Like I would feel safe working with you, especially as a first time home buyer. So I really, to this day, for 2 years straight, I've been using Facebook and Instagram, and now getting more into LinkedIn and YouTube to share knowledge. And I think most importantly, what I've learned is being authentic, which is not necessarily what I did from the start, but it's my strategy now. And I feel fulfilled, and that comes across through the screen to others.
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of people go wrong is they're a brand new agent. They see maybe a top agent that they really like in their market, and they say, well, I need to become the next version of them. But the problem is that you're not them, you're
Right.
you. But that's your advantage, is that you're not them, you are you. Nobody can be a better version of you. So that when you start to present yourself authentically, not only do people relate more to it, but also it makes your life easier, because when you're always trying to come up with new posts and new content, and you're constantly thinking of how can it be similar to somebody else, it makes it really difficult on yourself. Whereas if you start to share stuff that comes from the heart, you're just doing what comes natural to you. And I think, I seem to recall that when we first talked, you were doing quite well with Facebook and generating quite a bit of business from there. How did you start to scale to that first 50 plus deals in your 2 years? Because I know that, Facebook was a strategy, but you also did quite well with referrals and working your sphere.
Totally. Yeah. So I've been 100% referral based. To be honest, I didn't know any better. Like I have no idea how to even pay for a lead through Zillow. So maybe that's helped me. in terms of scaling, to be honest, like the first year, at the end of it, I reached complete burnout. Like I thought that I had to be everywhere at all times in front of people, and I gave no time to myself, to my life. I mean, I was just totally drained. Um, and I'm glad I did that because I learned so much from it. So through that experience, I've learned to kind of narrow down what 3 areas do I want to focus on in my business. One of those is, like we talked about, social media posting, coming across as an expert, a subject matter expert, and actually being that, not just portraying that. I think you have to live it. Um, and building a referral business. I'm such a connector just generally. So getting to know, both local and DC, like what clients do I have? Who should know one another? DC is such a town of like interesting people. So connecting clients and adding value that way to people's lives. But also through Sotheby's, we're a global company. So anytime I go on vacation or visit family, whatever city I'm in, if there's a Sotheby's office, I'm going to go there and meet them, for myself, because it's always great having an agent in another market that I can connect friends of mine with if they need it, knowing that they're with someone good. And then also being able to help their clients in the DC market. And to be honest, that's also kind of helped me get into the luxury space as well.
Yeah. So how was that transition for you in terms of getting into luxury? Because I know for a lot of people, that's kind of like their dream scenario where as a new agent, they can start selling homes that are over $1 million. They're always watching Selling Sunset or $1 Million Listing. Um, but not a lot of people understand how to properly break into that. But both you and I did that quite quickly. My fourth listing was $15 million. And I think that, by being able to leverage that, you can start to build off and get more and more and more. So what was your angle for starting to break into a market that was, of a higher price point and a higher caliber? And is there any myths or misassumptions that people have, like it's more difficult or more time consuming? What did you see in that luxury space?
Yeah, it can be tough too, right? Like you touched on earlier, following agents who are already in that space, it can cause you to be hard on yourself, right? Like, oh, I can't post about my $15 million listings that I'm doing right now. Which we'll get to that point, right? Like, I know so many agents who have been in the business who are listing those and they might sell 2 a year. Um, and they've been in the business for 30 years and I've been in the business for 2. And to be honest, I'm not going to sleep until I know that like I've provided value, and I hustle so much more than most agents. And that's sort of my competitive advantage. Um, and I think that energy, you'll bring that into listing appointments with you, right? Like your first listing appointment might be for a place that's 350,000, but those people, if you provide value, they have a network too, right? They're only going to refer you to who they know, right? Their parents might be the CEO of a company. You have no idea. And I've seen it, I've experienced it already. So I think uh, keeping your eyes open, treating every client with value, whether it's a $300,000 sale or a $3 million sale. And you touched on this too, and it totally resonated with me, which was having um, always looking professional and coming off as professional no matter where you go. And that's really created value as well, right? Even being with friends or at an event, like people, you can't just like show up in sweatpants and a t-shirt. It doesn't always work, right? Like you're gonna have fun with them, but are they gonna recommend you to their friends like they would a lawyer, or a doctor? Like you need a professional aspect with you, and the struggle is kind of finding balance between being your authentic self and comfortable, and keeping it professional.
Agreed. And I think that also circles back to what you talked about earlier is, would you work with yourself? It's the same with, social media posts. Would you, if you post something on Instagram, would you actually like, comment, and follow your own account? Would you watch your own YouTube video? Would you work with yourself in the industry? And oftentimes we think because we are who we are, that people are just naturally going to be drawn to us. But that's what every single other thousands of agents are thinking in our same city. So you really have to do walk the walk, not just talk the talk. So, you've done so
100%.
well really early on by leveraging your sphere. So what kind of made you entertain the idea of also bolting on a video marketing aspect and going a bit deeper into the social media strategies with your business, considering your early success?
Yeah. I think one of the things I learned early on from an agent mentor of mine is that we have to teach our clients what to say about us. And we can do that through posts and through text. People are not always going to read the text that we post. And so video is really one way to come across with a strong point of view. And then it also aligns with this idea of like becoming an expert and providing value. Um, Even some of the videos we make, I'm sure that for us, it's like we do this every day so it can come off as common sense. But if you think about it, how many times do we explain the same topics over and over again to our clients? Like how strong a pre-approval is versus not getting that. What does that mean for you as a buyer? And what is a deposit on a home? What are the costs of a home, right? Like a lot of people that are first-time home buyers don't realize that you actually have fees and costs that go into this process. So being able to point my clients into the direction of like, oh, here's what this means. If you want to find out more, you can check out this video of mine. And I'm new to the video space. I've posted 3 videos. To be honest, every time I've posted a video, I've gotten leads from this, well over $800,000 each time. And people have said to me, like, I love following your journey and seeing your strategy, and you're all about educating, which I think is important, right? Like, it's not about me with these videos, it's about others, and we're helping ourselves as agents by helping others.
Yeah, and I think, agents overcomplicate it where they're constantly thinking, well, what am I going to talk about on video? I don't have any ideas. I don't know what to record. I don't know how to do it. And I think it comes down to it can be as simple as using the echo effect, which is simply whenever you hear a question multiple times, you just record a video about the answer about that, which again, we see every single transaction. I'm literally working with a seller right now. I helped them buy their first house 3 years ago. And now that they're going to sell, they've never sold a property in Alberta. So they have no idea about the contract dates, about the conditions, about conditional sales. They don't know about the possession dates or any other aspect of what are the costs after you go firm. When do you go firm? They don't know any of the procedures that are related to a typical transaction. But again, because we're so entrenched in the industry, we think it as obvious. And you can build up a very successful, lucrative business by just creating videos on the echo effect and then presenting that. And also, I think it's a really great way to nurture your clients, because that way you're sending them something of value via email instead of just sending them an email about something that's more selfish and less
Totally.
selfless. And also something that you're going to start seeing too, which I'm really excited for, is now if you have somebody on your email list, a past client, and they have a friend that reaches out and says, hey, I'm looking to move to DC. Is there anything I should know? Yeah. Hey, look, Gabriel sent me this email a couple months ago about what you need to know before moving to DC. Check it out. And now they're going to spend 6 minutes getting to know Gabrielle versus looking at an email and reading a text for 2 minutes and saying, I don't know who this girl is, might not like her. How old is she? How much experience does she have? Does she do a good job? But by building a true relationship with people, it's great for building out a more effective way to refer to yourself.
Totally. And like establishing a connection before you actually even meet that person.
Exactly. So I'm really excited about it. Now, a couple quick questions before we start, diving into wrapping up here is I'd love to know what we can expect from your YouTube channel going forward, because I see that, you're starting to work with us and post more consistently, which is really incredible to see. And I'm going to link your channel below because guys, you need to be checking this out. She's got, really incredible stuff coming and only going to continue to elevate the quality. But after kind of explaining what we should expect from your channel, I'd love to know what your recommendations would be to a new agent in terms of, should you be on video? What type of social media should you be posting, how you should start leveraging your network for referrals, and just any new general agent advice that can help them achieve something similar to what you've done.
Yeah, totally. Um, Super stoked for the channel. I'm going to continue to post on all things real estate, not just DC, but in general. Like, what are mistakes that buyers can make? How to sell your home fast, and also getting into the new construction space. So, like, what do you want to look for in new construction? Should you have an agent or should you work with a sales rep? Is new construction negotiable? These are all important questions to ask. And a 6-minute video could save you 30 grand on a transaction, right? So I think there's some pretty powerful topics that can help a lot of people. As far as advice, one of the mistakes I made in the beginning, which I quickly had to pivot, was one, not believing in myself. So I think this business is primarily mindset, and people can feel that a mile away. So first of all, like, believing in yourself, you can absolutely do this. Even if it helps, like, looking at some successful agents and meeting with them, they'll tell you, like, if I can do this, anyone can do this, right? Like, we're all humans. And I'd say I messed up by trying everything, but I learned so much from it. So, you know, make sure you manage your own personal time, and leave time for yourself, some muse time to actually, like, create and build business, and also managing your business. But figure out, like, what 2, 3 areas you want to focus in that you're really good at, and ask your friends, ask your family, like, what do they love most about you, and figure out how you could leverage that in your job. It's going to make it so much more fulfilling and fun. Like, I love fundraising and being involved in organizations. So I'll throw fundraisers and invite all my clients and friends, and it doesn't even feel like work to me. Um, and then just start posting, right? Like, I'm such a starter, so it's so easy to say that. It's hard for a lot of people who can take something from 10% to 100. I'm really good at taking it from 0 to 10%. So whatever you do, just start. You're gonna look back. I look back at my posts from when I started, and it's like Facebook reminds you, right? Like,
Yeah.
1 year ago, you posted this, and it's like, oh my gosh, really? But it was a part of the journey, and it's brought me to where I am today. And I'm sure in a year, I'm going to look at what I'm posting now and be like, wow, my content's so much better. So get out of your head and just start. You'll quickly see the results and learn so much about yourself. And it's a path to success. So
Yeah.
believe in yourself and just start.
I think it's really important to kind of expand on what you talked about is, trying everything, but then honing it in and then figuring out what you like, because the entrepreneurial journey, whether you're in real estate, whether you're a business owner, you just founded the startup, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really, really tough and a lot harder than you think. And if you're doing things every single day, all day that you absolutely hate, you're going to truly hate the journey, and you're not going to make it to the point of succeeding. And I see a lot of agents fall victim to this. They follow one guy on YouTube that preaches door knocking, or one guy on YouTube that preaches cold calling, and they think, well, they made 7 figures doing that, so that must be the way. But if you hate door knocking and you hate cold calling, you're going to hate your life, and you're not going to even be able to mentally and emotionally get to the point where you're making 7 figures, because you're going to burn out far before you ever reach that point. So I think it's important to test it all and then see what you truly do enjoy. And if you're consistent at anything, then you're going to succeed. But you have to look at what makes you different and what do you enjoy doing, not so much what everybody else does. So I think that's really exciting, and I'm super stoked to see, how things continue to flourish with you, especially as we come out of this interesting, chaos that we're going through. I think you're going to be building up a lot of momentum to skyrocket. So where can people find out more about you? What's your YouTube channel? What's your Instagram? Where are people going to go check you out?
Yeah, thanks. YouTube channel, Gabrielle Crowe. You can find me on Facebook at Gabrielle Crowe as well. And on Instagram, DC Luxury Living.
Definitely, guys. And you're going to see she posts some pretty cool stuff, and is truly, embracing the notion of document, don't create. And I think a lot of people are focusing too much on what can you create versus just documenting the journey you're already going on, which is going to save you a lot of time, a lot of stress, and a lot of effort trying to think of what you can do differently. So, Gabrielle, super excited to have you on here. And again, guys, I strongly urge you to check out her content. Make sure you subscribe to her channel so you don't miss another video, and we will see you guys next time.